Joining us now is a man who served in both bodies and both in the majority and the minority, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy. Welcome to you, Senator. What are realistic expectations for our viewers with not only a divided government, but also a divided Congress?
Yeah, hopefully we can take care of the priorities of the American people. Now, as conservatives, we obviously want to take care of the defense. We want to meet basic needs like Social Security and Medicare. And we want to, whatever money we spend, we want to get the best value for the dollar. Now, there's going to be tension between every branch of government because there's different attitudes about each of the things I just said. But that's our goal as Republicans.
All right. You're also a medical doctor, so you're a smart guy. Here we are, another Christmas, another last-minute flurry of spending bills. I mean, I've lived through it too. I'm not as smart as you are, but I've lived through it too. Is this chaos by design, or is there some other way to get off of this roller coaster of always dealing with spending bills at the last minute?
Trey, it is chaos by design, my friend. And you're smarter than believe me, you're the guy with the national audience, not me. But it is deliberate that you wait until the government's about to shut down just before Christmas, and you give the senators and the Republicans 2.5 days to actually read a several thousand-page bill. It's incredibly frustrating. I think I've had 2 editorials in the Wall Street Journal criticizing the process. But that's the way it kind of stuffs at the end, and it's harder to review. It's harder to make changes that, frankly, I think would probably need to be changed.
All right, there's an old adage in politics that elections have consequences, but what are the consequences when the American people decide to put the Democrats in charge of the Senate and the Republicans in charge of the House? I mean, what is the realistic, legitimate consequence of that?
Yeah, the consequence is that you're going to end up spending things that we as Republicans would not ordinarily spend on. And vice versa, by the way. Republicans obviously are going to do different things with the budget, probably spending a lot less money than the Democrats. But when you set up divided, you've got to have a majority in both chambers, and that means there's inevitably going to be something that both sides want and both sides will get, but that the American people will look at, depending on which party you vote for, and say, I'm not sure I like that.
All right, I'm sure people in Louisiana ask you, and they certainly do, me in South Carolina, they talk about the debt and the deficits. I get the desire, but the reality, I think, Doc, is that you're not going to be able to do anything about the debt and the deficit meaningfully without tackling the mandatory spending, or what some people call entitlements. Am I just overly cynical, or is that a fair way of looking at our spending crisis?
You got it, man. And it's kind of a double whammy. Social Security is going insolvent in 11 years. If it goes, the trust fund goes to zilch, zero, no more. At that point, only the amount being paid in can go out, and under current law, beneficiaries will get a 25% cut in their Social Security payment. Now, not only is it going to drive our debt and deficit, but it's also, under current law, going to result in beneficiaries getting 25% less. We've got to change that. We've got to strengthen Social Security, make sure it's there for the beneficiaries that are on it, and do it in a way which also addresses our nation's debt.
Senator Bill Cassidy, I really hope you're in Louisiana for Christmas. I've spent Christmas in D.C. It was not a lot of fun. I hope you're home for the holidays. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
Thank you, Trey.
Coming up, who will be the next Speaker?